what is the greatest gift that you have gotten from your Zettelkasten? Or alternatively, has the Zettelkasten helped you give any gifts to others?
I'm willing to start because uh, for the past year and a half, um, it's well going on 2 years, very close to 2 years now. I've been living a gift and trying to also give a gift that came completely out of my Zettelkasten, and that is the gift that the Zettelkasten gave me was the awareness that that the catalog of virtues created by St. Thomas Aquinas, which where he dealt with the four cardinal virtues and then broke it down into 28 daughter virtues, that if you took the from zero to positive, which is what you have for virtues, and you extended the line in the other direction from to anti-virtues, you would have a complete character trait that could be used for fiction. And the Zettelkasten gave me that connection. And so I've spent 2/3 of a year teaching it in my Reawaken the Dream of Writing course. I created a book called Writing with Emotion that teaches how to do that. And it's been a central part of my life ever since. So my life from that time going forward is mapping out in a totally different direction than it ever would have without the Zettelkasten. So how about total change in direction for my life?
Only everything.
Yeah. Yeah. At risk of going same. Yeah, same. When I back in 2020-ish, when I started having inkling thoughts about the book that I started in 1998, that I got 25,000 words in and couldn't finish it, and then life got in the way. It was always back there. I always knew in my heart all I ever wanted to do was to be an author, but I couldn't get there. Just there was too much. I couldn't get there. Not that I didn't write a lot, but I was never able to finish that novel. And after going down the YouTube rabbit hole of Scott Shepper and binge watching all of his videos for a weekend, in a way that I don't know that I can necessarily put into words for someone that hasn't experienced it, I know this group is privy, something in me shifted in such a tangible way that I understood on a deep level that this would change everything. This would give me the tools that I was never able to find in a simple, straightforward way that could provide a path for me. And so the first thing that it did was I finished my novel. And through that process, very much in the way that Kathleen described, I consider this group true friends. I mean, I have found a true group of friends that I would drop anything to help. I would do anything for this group because you mean that much to me, because you literally changed my life. It was going this way in satellite land. I was miserable. I was burnt out. I knew where I wanted to get to, but again, I couldn't see the path. And a simple box of note cards, as ridiculous as it sounds, helped me make that transformation. And then having Kathleen's friendship and the shared vision of what Lily Pub could be and what we could share with other people gave me that larger mission that I always knew I was built for. I just didn't know what that would look like. It just really distilled everything into kind of one straightforward path with the mission and the vision at the end and the Zettelkasten path to get there. And it literally changed everything. So it put in my hands the tools that I needed to build the life I knew I was meant for. I just didn't know how to get there. And the Zettelkasten did that.
So I was sharing with Kathleen when we first joined that Nadia Z and I are having a honeymoon right now. we kind of, when I created that Footprints in Dreams card, that's when the, the crush started to develop. And now I'm trusting the soup. The process of creating the cards, making sure they hit all 4 of the buttons that Kathleen says, it's not a full main card if it doesn't have these things. If it doesn't have the idea, your reaction to the idea, where'd you get that idea, and the tagline. If it doesn't have those, it's not done yet. So that discipline has been really good to make sure that I don't just kind of gloss over my own thoughts and ideas and observations. So there's that. And then the act of indexing, I feel like I'm grateful that it takes longer with the cards. I appreciate that tempo. And I appreciate it because it's working for me. It's like I'll spend an evening using as much of my brain as I can indexing and dealing with suddenly overflow of ideas. Crikey. and they start exploding, and I end up through the process of indexing. I've got 10 more cards I got to do something with tomorrow. But the thing is, I don't need to worry about it. I don't feel overwhelmed by it. Nadia's got me.
Yeah.
It feels, and it just keeps she keeps just giving me more. The more I give her, the more she gives me. I feel as though it could get manic feeling if I didn't have the grounding of Nadia Z to remind me when there's a clump of 20 cards there, that's 20 cards that could absolutely explode into 100 ideas. You better get on them. It's a physical reminder to be orderly.
Totally. I couldn't have said it better. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm, with the Roanoke story over the last couple of days, I've got so much to share. It's like the world is absolutely exploding, and it's coherent to me. So
Yeah.
it's such a surprise. I never wrote fiction in my life, and now I can't stop.
That's awesome. Well, that's the power of it. That's the true power of it, because that's what I experienced it. You're experiencing exactly what I did, which is, wow. I don't have to worry. I don't have to stress. I just have to be present and trust the process.
Yeah.
And it's so flippin' fun. I'm like, give me another hour. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Well, like everybody else, the greatest gift that the Zettelkasten has given me is a direction and the ability to store my ideas safely so they don't get lost, at least not lost permanently, even if they might sometimes get lost in the index, and a way to make connections. And it's just amazing to me. As soon as you find one connection, and then like Julianne was saying, it explodes. It really explodes. And I've had the idea for years that I wanted to write something, really exploring some idea, writing it on a regular basis. And I sort of made some stabs at it a little bit here and there, but without the Zettelkasten, I don't know how I would sustain such a thing. And writing my newsletter over the last 6 months since I launched and using the Zettelkasten to collect the ideas and to find the connections, those two things together have just produced so much progress. Like the guy that I'm writing about, Ramon Lowell, I discovered his ideas, I don't even know, 10, 15 years ago, and sort of looked at him and said, this is so complicated. I think there's something here, but I have no idea what it is. And I still didn't really know what it was when I started this newsletter series, but actually trying to figure it out and write about it, I'm starting to get it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Funny how that
Um,
works.
yes, yeah, you put the work in and you get the rewards. If you put the work in with a good system to collect the work, because you can waste a lot of time with a bad system.
And you've got such a great burning question. What's this guy talking about?
Yeah.
There were too
Yes.
many people that he influenced not to just give it some faith that what he's saying mattered to a lot of people. And some of those people matter to me. So I'm gonna go into it. I just love it. I love, Mel, how your original idea for your newsletter is absolutely an echo of this big idea. It's like a metaphor of the big idea that your newsletter is. And I don't know whether using the Zettelkasten actually helped you arrive there, but I could imagine that it's very helpful once you see, the bigness of your idea is very big. Easy to get overwhelmed.
Yes.
What excites me in your newsletter and why I get so excited when it arrives every month is that you get the feeling that there are people who spent decades of their lives devoted to writing about his system, and you get the feeling they understood it. And that means that it's possible to understand. So I'm really glad you're on the mission.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, you guys are going to be excited to know that I discovered a connection to Zettelkasten. Not a
Oh,
historical connection necessarily, but a conceptual connection.
I
So
love it.
we're going to be talking about that this week or this month.
oh boy.
Cool.
Yes.
Talk about gifts. That's a gift. Your newsletter, definitely.
Yeah.